Dear TikTok witches, do you guys actually believe the stuff you post about, or is it like a joke?
We speak from first-hand experience, not from a book that's been manipulated by man for thousands of years. First-hand experience. It's taken time, it's taken practice. We've succeeded, and we've failed miserably. We've lived our own stories. If it was a joke, how long do you think we could go on being harassed by Christians before we just gave up? How many times could we deal with being screamed at and told we're going to hell? Understand there's a reason why we're steadfast in our beliefs. And you might want to watch your mouth, because it's ignorant fucks like you that wind up being hexed or cursed and living out miserable lives because you pissed off a witch. Okay, I don't know if this guy was serious or not, but I'm using this comment as a way to say, you don't want to be cursed by a witch. I don't know why people romanticize the idea of being hexed or cursed, but it's no laughing or joking matter. Understand, we have no control over what happens to you if we place a hex on you. Hexes and curses are a spectrum. You could be minorly inconvenienced for a while, or you could become not alive, and everything in between. The moral of the story here is just leave witches alone. If you don't like what we do or you don't believe in what we believe in, that's fine, but never piss off a witch. See, here's the thing about researching demons like Asmodeus. It is all but impossible to find information that hasn't been manipulated by Christians. If you ask me, Solomon was completely full of shit, because a three-headed beast with a crooked leg is not what Asmodeus looks like. The reason why many sources will say that is because the Christians have an agenda. They want you to be afraid of these entities, and they'll describe them however they like to achieve that. The best thing that I can advise is to see if you can look up actual testimonials from pagans who have worked with him. Compare and contrast information, and eventually you'll get a fairly good idea on what Asmodeus is actually like.
Tell me you're a witch without saying you're a witch.
If I leave a drink or a plate of food by one of these candles for too long, it is no longer mine. Guys, I just found out Asmodeus' favorite song. Quick, if you have a connection with him like I do, play Take It Off by Kesha. Play it for him, I swear to God. I think he and I just vibed for like a solid minute over this song because it was a sound another user was using for a video. This is a new experience. I have never experienced a feeling like this before. Holy shit. The closest thing I can compare it to is riding a roller coaster and having a near-death experience at the same time. And you know what? You are more than likely right about that. However, because we created religion, we more than likely brought them into existence. There are witches and pagans out there known as seers. They can see everything from deities to spirits to demons to monsters to auras, just about everything. If exorcisms are just words, then why are they so motherfucking painful? Many individuals will describe it as their souls literally being ripped to shreds. Why do I physically become ill when I enter a Christian church and become fine as soon as I leave? When I allegedly vibed with Asmodeus to Take It Off, why did I have such an extreme reaction when it's a song I've listened to about 80,000 times? Try to keep an open mind. And here's where I spill the tea about Lucifer. Just a disclaimer, everybody's interactions is going to be different. I am finding that out very quickly with Eli Mercury's videos. I'm building a list of different offerings I want to give my deities when payday comes. Lucifer is very passive-aggressive. when he wants something. For example, there is a necklace on my wish list right now that screamed at me that it would be great for Lucifer. And I just so happened to sense Lucifer's presence as I came upon it. And the general energy he gave off was as if he was looking over my shoulder and going, I mean, yeah, you can get it if you want, whatever floats your boat. Meanwhile, he had this underlying energy of, I swear to God, if you do not get this when you get paid, everyone on the astral plane will feel my wrath. It's a golden sunflower necklace that opens up and says, you are my sunshine. Okay, so I know I speak a crap ton about Lucifer on my page, but I can never guarantee that you're going to be able to work with him. Do you think Lucifer, Ram, and Asmodeus would have been my first choice of deities to work with if I'd been given the opportunity to choose? I didn't even know who Ram was when I started out, and I didn't know that working with Lucifer was a thing. You can try focusing your spiritual energy and your intention towards Lucifer and see if it'll grab his attention, but I cannot guarantee anything. And just remember that working with a deity is a relationship. While you have the right to say yes or no, they also have the right to say yes or no. Lucifer's no different. Okay, so I don't think this person really meant anything malicious by this comment, but allow me to answer that question. In a way, yes, the Christian God is real. However, he didn't create jack shit. As a matter of fact, it was humanity that created him, and it is humanity who gives him power. All the other deities are fully capable of doing the exact same shit as he does. They all have the power to manipulate things a little bit down here in order to give us what we ask for, if they feel like giving it to us. However, God doesn't love all humans. I am a perfect example. He absolutely hates the shit out of me. And it's not because I turned away from him and started following Lucifer. In fact, he used me to bruise my relationship with Lucifer. But he's never, ever done jack shit for me. Okay, so to clarify, God did not use Lucifer against me. He used me against Lucifer. For context, I was 11 when this happened, so the only thing I knew about any religion was Lucifer, devil, Satan, bad, Christianity, God, Bible, good. And Lucifer wasn't even doing anything malicious when we met. I was just in a really bad headspace at that time, and he was telling me that I was stronger and capable of more than what I was giving myself credit for. But because he was, well, Lucifer, I thought he was evil. I thought he was trying to lead me astray. I thought he was trying to turn me into a devil worshiper, which simply wasn't the case. Lucifer's been around for eons. He's seen this pattern before. And because I treated him like the devil, he backed off, but I lost a good bit of his trust in the process. Okay, I was gonna take a shower, but I'm gonna answer this comment first. Satan is not Lucifer's father. He's not even a deity. Satan is humanity's collective idea of evil and corruption, given a name. That's it. Lucifer is a fallen angel. By your religion, to say that Satan is Lucifer's father is to say that God is Satan. Over time, Lucifer, Satan, the Antichrist, the father of lies, Lord of the Flies, all have become synonymous with each other. Over time, you guys have forgotten to distinguish who is who anymore. And that's where we pagans come in, because we actually interact with these deities and tell our stories from first-hand experience. Once again, you can believe what you want, but if you're gonna come onto a pagan's page and start an argument with a pagan that works with Lucifer, you might want to know what you're talking about. This is actually a very good question. What did I do when I found out that God was completely in full of shit and Lucifer was actually right? First off, I had to forget everything I thought I knew about anything and start looking at things from a more logical standpoint. What made sense, what didn't make sense, what could be explained scientifically, and what things have I experienced that I simply couldn't explain. If this sounds like it was difficult, that's because it was. I identified as an atheist for a certain amount of time simply because of this fact. But the dream Lucifer came to me in when I was 11 was the one thing that really stood out. I couldn't explain how or why it happened, but I knew Lucifer was spitting hardcore facts that night. In the end, my conclusion is that there's multiple deities and multiple pantheons. And it's all about finding out where you actually belong. If you ask me, the strongest deity is mankind itself. We give gods their power. We give them life. And with the right mindset and the right resources, we have the power to take that away. Take a look around at the modern world. The earth wasn't created looking like that. We shaped it to look like this. We've created things that would blow the minds of people from a century ago. So what about actual deities? What are their purpose? Why are they with us? The deities that we work with are from an entirely different realm. And therefore, they only have so much influence. They serve as guides, teachers, friends, enemies, even lovers in some instances. And depending on our relationship with them, they have the ability to protect us from forces outside of our control.
What is the biggest thing holding back the witch and pagan community as a whole?
Boy, you said you was about to start some drama. I'm about to blow some holes in the walls. The fact that we're applying this sort of exclusiveness to our community. Let me explain. I'm willing to bet daily I get someone in my comments saying that they're interested in starting in witchcraft. And on those comments, I at least get a few people that reply that they have to be initiated by another witch or a coven in order to be official. If you ask me, you practice witchcraft and you are successful, you are a witch. Period. Yes, I understand there's rules. But if you ask me, this exclusiveness will drive away people who are genuinely interested in the craft and want to get started. This is not a club, this is a craft. Let people practice the craft.
Alright, I can't believe I have to make this fucking video again. So the S word and the W word in the Native American culture, specifically Algonquian and Navajo cultures, are not fucking deities to work with in witchcraft. I don't know who the fuck needs to hear it, but it needs to be some fucking ignorant ass witch who's trying to fucking work with these. Stop trying to fucking tell us to be quiet and saying, well, you can't really tell someone what to do with the practice. Yes, we fucking can if it means your life is in fucking danger and you are fucking around with something that you have no idea what the fuck you are messing with. You don't get to dictate our voices on this thing because those two entities, those spirits are very fucking dangerous. They're not a deity to work with. They're not some type of dark magic shit. And this is what I mean by witchcraft is trying to steal native shit to make it their own. It's not fucking witchcraft. It's not dark magic. It is a dangerous thing to fuck with.
Have I ever had romantic feelings for a deity? Define romantic feelings. If you're talking about a deity that I was genuinely in love with and wanted to dedicate my entire life to, like a god spouse, then no. Now, have I ever been infatuated with a deity? Hell yes, I have. My roommates could tell you that I was hella infatuated with Loki. But, not for the right reasons. It was because I was obsessed with the Marvel movies. And the more research I did into the actual deity, the worse it got. but I wouldn't call that love. Now, I would be lying to you if I told you that Lucifer and Ram haven't been tempting at one point or another. But again, I don't think it would be for the right reasons. What do my deities think about Jesus? If I'm being honest, we don't talk about him. Ram, Lucifer, and Asmodeus all know that given my history, those sorts of discussions upset me. As far as I know, and as far as I'm concerned, they really don't have an opinion on him. Now, that's not to say if Jesus were to descend from a cloud before me and say, hey, I want to talk, that I wouldn't be willing to talk. Every time I meditate, I ensure I leave myself open enough for any deity that wishes to make contact. That means if God himself wanted to communicate, he could. But he don't. I think that bridge has pretty much been destroyed. And it doesn't mean that if they did indeed make contact, that all of a sudden you would see me switching sides. God has done some pretty heavy damage to my trust and given me plenty of reasons not to work with him. Okay, so this video is going to contain a lot of important information for all you baby witches out there. When in doubt, remember Genie's 3 rules of magic. You can't kill anyone. Yes, I know there are aftermaths involving hexes and curses, but a spell to specifically end a person's life is no bueno. You can't bring anybody back from the dead. I'm sorry. You can communicate with the spirits of deceased individuals, but you can't bring a person back to life. And you can't make anybody fall in love. That's non-consensual and highly frowned upon. I know love spells are one of the biggest reasons people get into magic, but specifically hexing someone to fall in love with you is non-consensual and you really shouldn't do it. I knew it was only a matter of time before I got this question. Here's what I was led to believe during my time as a Christian. Lucifer is Satan, and the Antichrist is his son. However, as far as I know, Lucifer doesn't have any children. I could be wrong, but he has given me no indication that he is a father. And as I have mentioned in previous videos, Lucifer is not Satan. But I will tell you what I do know. I am surrounded by neighbors who are Christians. And just about every single one of them believes that Donald Trump is the Antichrist. And I'm talking about old ladies who have been practicing the faith for decades. All but one voted to get him out of office. So if that doesn't speak volumes, I don't know what does. If we're gonna get technical about it, yes, I have. 2 of my deities would technically qualify as demons. They're members of the Ars Goetia. However, by my belief, the term demon doesn't mean what you think it means. A demon is not evil or corrupt. Demons merely mirror the chaotic nature of mankind. As I said in a previous video, you've got some that just want to be your best friend in the whole wide world. You've got some that absolutely do not care whatsoever. You've got some that'll smile in your face 1 second and punch you in the face the next. And you've got some that hate you from the day you're born to the day you die. They don't come from hell, and most of the time they don't go out of their way to torment people. They're merely chaotic beings with a bad reputation. Ram especially is the furthest thing from a stereotypical demon because he's the nicest being I've ever met. Ooh. The dying question. Why am I so open with my beliefs? Because I'm tired of pagan religions being looked at as something obscure and as something that should be feared. Christianity did not become the dominant religion by a bunch of Catholics showing the Holy Bible to people and just being like, yeah, so this is what we believe and you're free to follow it if you want to. Christianity became the dominant religion through bloodshed and fear. Convert or die. That is the Christian's history. And I'm tired of the suppression. I want modern day Christians to question their beliefs. I want them to second guess themselves. I want them to research other pantheons. especially if they're one of many who feel trapped in their religion. If you feel trapped in a religion, you were not meant to be a part of it.